And how's that experience for you? How do you see that it helped you? And what were some of the things that you learned or the experience like going to those campuses?
Honestly, the first thing that I learned is that I belong there. Because again, second in my family, I graduated high school. Technically second to go to college. My older sister went to college, but she dropped out after the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
So first to go to college and graduate, first to get my master's, first to get my doctorate. So prior to that, there was a certain intimidation factor. Is this really for me? Because no one else in my family, had ever gone down this path that they could share experiences. So when I remember stepping on the campus of Cal State Northridge, looking around, seeing students of color, a lot of students of color, walking through the engineering building, because that particular campus, another reason I chose it, is they have the minority engineering program, which is a program that targets traditionally underrepresented minorities, Blacks, Hispanics, American Indian students. And I remember walking the engineering building and I saw diversity everywhere. And I thought, yeah, I belong here. I can see myself here. So that to me was just a tremendous confidence booster.
And to see the diversity, it was like there's others too that are going for this. Is that what also, inspired you too?
It was, because again, even though I went to a predominant Latino school for high school, I took all AP and honors classes. I mean, my mom pushed me to take every single class. Again, she didn't really understand, I'm sure at the time, the true benefit, but she knew these were the hardest classes, and she knew what AP meant. And so I still remember being the only Latino in my calculus class, the only Latino in my physics class, the only Latino in my AP English class in high school. So I thought, okay, this is high school. I'm guessing college is the same, But once I stepped onto Northridge and I saw the diversity, I was like, yeah, okay, there's no more intimidation. In fact, I belong here. I can be successful here.
Yeah. So college really just opened your view of the world and education system, right?
It did. And again, there was some, don't get me wrong, there was some trepidation. Again, being the first as I went through sophomore year, because again, was my sophomore year, I leapfrogged my sister in terms of how far she had gone. And when I got it to my junior year, my senior year, then it was more of a pressure of I need to succeed, not so much because I want to finish school, but because people are watching. I've got nieces, nephews, cousins that are right behind me, grade-wise, and I need to succeed for them, because my thought was, if they saw that I didn't succeed, if they saw me fail, then I thought, okay, maybe they're not going to pursue this path. Maybe they might think, yeah, Ramon messed up. It's too hard. Let's not go down that path. So part of it after a while was I got to finish for them, so they can see, yeah, we can conquer this mountain. We can get these degrees. This is where we belong. So again, it was more just trying to role model for them. Again, it wasn't a conscious effort. It was more subconscious. And again, real proud to say in hindsight. And I got an engineering degree. My youngest sister has an engineering degree. Two of my cousins in Mexico have engineering degrees. One of my cousins in LA is an engineer. And again, these are all folks that were coming right behind me. And I'd like to think that I had a little bit to do with that in terms of, hey, look, this is the path. Walk in these steps and you'll be successful.
Yeah. Totally right to them. My parents actually do, because they all went back to school. She didn't go to college initially, but she went back. She says, I want to set that bar for you.
Yeah.
So hey, you can do it. And like I said, all the cousins, and it's just that being that kind of, not only the mentor, but being just, someone to look up to and within your family. So.
Yeah, and it's another story that I tell kids, and I ask them, what is your definition of success? And kids will raise their hand and say, well, if I make so much money, or if I got this kind of car, or if I've got this kind of a house. And I go, try to be a little bit more philosophical. And this is where I lose them. And I say, try this one out for size. I say, actually not the definition. I say, what's your definition of failure? I take that all back. And I tell them, my definition of failure is not setting your goals high and missing them. My definition of failure is setting your goals low and reaching them. Because you could have gone so much farther if you just stretched yourself. Instead, you really set the bar low. So to your point, set that bar as high as you can. You get there, fantastic. If you don't get there, you're still pretty high up. So you've still done pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna hit somewhere close.
Exactly.
Yeah. And can you tell me about someone that's been the biggest influence in your life?
That's an easy one. It's my mom. Not an easy one. I shared the story about her making me do my homework over and over again. And again, I can take a chuckle about the story. She had such high expectations for all of us, not just me, but all myself and my siblings. Another story I share often is my senior year. I took every AP Calculus class my high school offered, which was only 4. So I took AP Calculus, AP Physics, AP English, AP Spanish. Then I think I took honors psychology, just because that's the next they had. And I remember coming over with my report card at the end of the semester, and I had like 4 A's and a C. And I got a C in calculus. Again, in my family, I had no one to help me. I bypassed the math content of everybody a long, long time ago. So this calculus stuff that I've never seen before, I'm struggling. I'm trying to learn it by myself. I've got no resources. I don't have a tutor. I don't have a aunt, uncle, cousin that I can go to. It's me. So in my mind, the advanced placement calculus, I got a C. I thought I was doing pretty good. I aced every other AP class. I aced my honors class, and I bring my report card home, and there's my mom again, upset at me, saying, "Why did you get a C in calculus?" And it's one of those moments of frustration. You ever say something and then you wish you could take it back, like as soon as you said it?
Yeah.
I had that moment where I said, "Mom, it's calculus. Do you even know what it is?" That's when I said, "Oh, I'm in trouble now." And she looks at me, doesn't even flinch again, and she says, "No, mijo, I don't know what calculus is, but I know what a C is." And again, that was her setting that bar so high. It's like she didn't care the content, she didn't care the class. She knew what a C was, and she knew, that I could do better. So, yeah, it's those moments that I think, okay, in hindsight, I was pretty upset at the time, but she had such high standards for me. I mean, she was definitely the one that pushed me, that just knew I could do so much more. She could have easily said, "Okay, it's a C, it's calculus, fine, you got the other S." No, she was not satisfied with that. She was the one that I can remember was the one that was always telling me to do my best, push me higher.
Yeah. Mothers are strong and pushing their children. Yeah, because mother too pushed me and dragged me all the way through, and nothing's ever, you feel like when you're younger, nothing's ever good enough, but it's what they're doing.
Sure.
You don't understand it when you're younger, and that's going to help you later on.
And it's one of those things, again, in hindsight, I've got 3 kids. I've had that similar conversation with my kids. Well, my middle child, my oldest son, it's one of those things. But at the same time, his sophomore year, he was doing okay, but I knew he could do so much better. And just had that conversation with him saying, you really got to crank it up. And then to his benefit, he did. At the next semester, he brought the grades, and I said, "Look, see, it's within you. You've got the ability. Just apply yourself."
Yeah, definitely. And what advice would you give to children who would like to enter a STEM profession?
I think it depends on the grade level. Younger kids, I tell them just have a passion, and by younger I mean like 3rd grade or so. Because at that time, it's not so much about the math or the science. It's just have a passion for curiosity. Are you curious how things work? Again, about that time, I was a kid. At Christmas, I would get whatever the toy was, and if it had anything to be assembled, first thing I'll do is throw out the instructions. Like, I'm going to figure this out. I got this. So just have that natural curiosity. How do things work? Why does this happen when this happens? As they get older, especially in middle school, start trying to get yourself on that math and science track that I talked about earlier. So that means 7th graders, try to get into that algebra class, because algebra is going to lead to algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, trig, and calculus. And then same thing on the sciences. Try to take that harder science class, so that in high school you got the biology, the chemistry, the physics. You're on that track. And also still maintain that passion for curiosity, and knowing that at some point those two are going to come together. You're going to have this natural curiosity of how things work, and then you're going to have the tool set. You're going to have the math, the science of how to be able to tackle problems, because you've got this toolbox full of tools that you can apply to that curiosity that you have.
Definitely. And when you're younger, was there anything that you assembled? You said that you throw out the instructions.
Everything. I mean, I remember taking clocks apart, putting them back together, having spare parts, taking toys apart, putting them back together. Again, I just had a natural curiosity. Parents hated it, at first. Flip side is, again, once I got out of college and I would go visit family, and I'm aging myself. You're probably too young, but there used to be these things called VCRs. And if you didn't set the clock right, it would be a blinking 12 that would be on display, which meant you have to reprogram it. And so many times I would go to family's house and say, "Oh, the engineer's here, program the VCR, get the clock back on time." Or I would get a phone call in the middle of dinner, "Hey, this is so-and-so, your cousin, my computer's not working, what do I got to do?" "Okay, do this, and this." So it does come around full circle. All that tinkering and whatnot, at some point people realize, there's value in this, he can help us out. And to me, I take it as a personal challenge. Again, computer's not working now, like, let me figure this out. Cell phone's not working, let me figure out what's wrong with the operating system. Cars at the house, electrical circuits, lights, plumbing, you name it. Because again, it's that natural curiosity, different set of tools, but that natural curiosity is still there.
To learn how to figure more like things and just
how to find a solution. Yeah, how to find a solution. Again, talking about a typical day, I was at a presentation yesterday. Keynote speaker was a world-renowned expert on neuroscience and how the brain works. And one of the comments that he made is, human beings, we're natural inventors. It's in our DNA to try to come up with better ways, better solutions, better everything. So now on the engineering side, we just have enough tools to do that. We have got the math and science tools to be able to come up with those better solutions, those better inventions.
Yeah. So I have one last question. If you could have a superhero power, what would it be and why?
This is one of those, if you want to be a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Well, I got to think about this one.
Or it can be something, maybe like a wish of like to have a certain device, or
I don't know. Is going back in time considered a superpower?
Yeah,
I would, because of what you just said. I wouldn't mind being able to go back in time, so that I could be that mentor to that young Ramon, to tell him, "Hey, enjoy yourself. You're gonna go on this trek. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very difficult. The engineering curriculum is, not easy, but enjoy yourself while you're there." If I could tell myself, I go back in time and tell myself that. If I could be that mentor to that little Ramon way back when, that to me would be pretty awesome.